Well, there's a place called Mogwin Palace, and I don't know exactly where it is, but there's apparently a spot up on some cliff where you can, like, go right from the site of Grace. You see a giant bird just across the map, and you take a longbow and you shoot it at the right time, and then it will just angrily walk off the cliff and kill itself.
Nice.
And you can do this like 60 or 70 times an hour.
Nice.
Yeah.
You did say last time you were looking for maximum cheese.
Yeah. The trouble is, I have to go beat a couple of optional bosses, and one of them is in a place I haven't even been to in the map. Like, there's a whole region I've never seen before. And they're like, here, one of the fucking pieces to the elevator is here. Also, this place is in the underground, which is just generally a bad time. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, there's no easy meat in the underground.
Yeah.
It's all the worst.
Especially for sneaky, goblin-y little bitches.
Yes, that is correct. When you put all your points into int and have no interest in, like, vitality, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to stay alive longer. I just want to hurt people more.
Yeah, maximum damage, total glass cannon. Love it.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Yeah.
Hits hard, but not for long.
Right.
Well,
Here for a good time, not a long time.
not more than 2 hits generally. Sometimes 1, depending on where I go.
All right.
Paul, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling like I'm gonna have no choice but to get Elden Ring at some point.
Oh, yeah. Man. It's fucking good. I'm stupidly addicted to it.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't found myself thinking about playing a game when I'm not playing it, like, in a very long time. Like, I have Elden Ring. Like, we're about to record, and let's get the show on the road, because I want to get back to that fucking game.
Thinking about bailing completely on the podcast.
Oh man, that was all this close. This close. Yeah.
Oh, guys, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I booked 3 days off last week because I was like, I want to catch up in some video games. What I really meant to myself was, I'm going to play 30 hours of Elden Ring.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a good time.
It was all right.
Fuck me. Maybe this is the one that gets me. I don't know.
It seems to me like it's a lot more accessible. You know, where in games prior to this, it was like, if you were stuck on a certain boss or a certain area of the game, like, you were kind of stuck.
Yeah.
You know? But with this, as you know, you're obviously aware, like, if you get stuck on something, you can go spend 20 hours doing other shit and then come back to what you were stuck on.
Yeah, I'm not even totally sure what the game wants me to do.
No.
Like, I know there's a story of some kind, but, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
God only knows. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
there's no quest markers, no quest log. Like, it's like you're playing fucking Dungeons and Dragons. And if you're not, like, writing down what's going on, then you're just going to kind of be lost.
But, you know, people can accommodate online. They're really cool about it. Everybody's really helpful.
Yeah.
It's basically a huge 3-dimensional, mostly modern looking and playing NES game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's pretty obtuse. It's just infinitely larger, and the controls are good. So you got that going for you.
All the things
Really?
you're saying are like taking me back to the NES Ultima games. 'Cause those things were absolutely impenetrable unless you already knew what to do. Sorry, Red, I cut you off.
No, I was just going to say, I keep finding myself impressed by the hitboxes. Really, really well done. Like, it's like if you jump over a sword and you just clear it, you aren't going to take damage. You know, it works very, very well like that.
Although I've also heard online that there are plenty of places where swords can come through walls and take you out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm 50 hours in, and there was maybe one spot where I saw that. I more so I see like fire elemental attacks will pop through walls, I think, a bit easier than the swords will. But even that, like, I really have not seen much of that, and I can't think of one time where I've died, you know, from an attack through a wall and been like, oh, I just got screwed.
It's probably completely overblown then.
I think so. I think there's very little to nitpick with this game, so, you know, people pretty much grasp at anything.
That's how people do, man.
Yeah. What does suck is the multiplayer.
All that shit can fuck itself. The
Dude,
invasions
with the
and
fingers,
shit.
But like, you need to like be crafting items just to be able to summon your friends in, and like, if you die, it kicks your friend out. If your friend dies, kicks him out. If you beat a boss, it kicks him out. If like anything, they have multiplayer, but it's very much a single player game.
They're like, fine, I fucking guess people can be here, but only for this so much time. Yeah. And if they fuck up, they're gone, you know, like, although counterpoint to the crafting thing, you do have to make the item, but you make it out of the single most common ingredient in the game.
Yeah.
So that's fair. It's like, I think I have 36 of the summon items in my pack, and I could probably make 20 or 30 more if I just took the time to do it. Yeah.
It's nice that the game actually has crafting, because that's one of my complaints about the older From games, is that they know full well you're going to have to do this section 306 times, and in the entire game there are 4 sheets of fire paper, and fuck you once you're out of them.
Yep.
Yeah. It's in my experience so far, items are definitely more plentiful, I want to say. Although some of that is just finding fucking huge sacks of smithing stones so you can make whatever dinky weapon you're rocking a little better.
Huge sacks of stones. Love it.
Whereas what I did was I looked online immediately after starting my character and was like, hey guys, staff, good for my boy, staff. And they were like, here, go to this incredibly dangerous, inhospitable, fucking awful place to find a random set of ruins at a random treasure chest. And I was like, sure, off I go. Because they give you a horse so you can run away from like most regular enemies.
Yeah.
One of the trailers had the horse riding straight up a cliff. Is that a thing you can do?
Oh, you can find these like little wind tunnel things. It's like a little leaping spot. So you leap on that and you're just like, but the horse does have a double jump. That's important to note.
Huge.
Okay, that's pretty sick.
It is, actually.
So of course they've got plenty of secrets that can only be accessed with the double jump. Paul, here's a little tip for you. One can be found early on at the Dragon Burnt Ruins. Remember that name. Double jump.
Got it. It's locked in.
Locked in, yeah.
Yeah.
Also like that those wind vortexes sound basically identical to Donkey Kong Country's barrel cannons.
Yeah, I mean, basically. It's funny because the only time I would usually see them is I'd be up in some high spot and I want to get down, but they don't work in reverse. So you're like, oh, I'll just jump down. No, you can fall pretty far without taking too much damage, but there's a like invisible line where it's like any further than that and like no amount of vigor will help you. You will just like automatically die.
That's interesting. I thought that you could jump down those things.
To be fair, I haven't tried.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be able to.
This is a game changer, James.
Yeah.
Like half the game is now open to you and you thought it was closed.
I mean, they give you... You can create a pretty aggressive fast travel network pretty fast. And so it's pretty easy to get around places. Although there's one motherfucker. Still haven't figured it out.
And of course, playing it on these next gen systems, since you will be fast traveling a lot, will be helpful to know that it loads basically instantly. So that
about
definitely helps.
4 seconds whenever you fast travel.
Yeah.
Maybe
I did read
less.
that it loads a lot faster on PS5 than the Xbox.
Really?
Like 2 to 3 times as fast.
Interesting.
Weird.
Who can say why these things happen? And really, it doesn't matter whatsoever. Because, hey, you might need those 10 or 15 seconds to wipe your grubby mitts off and calm yourself before you throw something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean the fucking dust off your fingers.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, welcome everybody to the Elden Ringcast. I'm your host, the one who doesn't play Elden Ring or hasn't played it as of yet. But I'm Paul, and those are our 2 resident Elden Ring gods,
The addicts.
Rhett and James.
Oh, yeah. Hey, welcome. Heads up. We do have people on our team who are probably genuinely Elden Ring pros. It's not me. I don't know about you, Rhett.
No, I mean, I have started to feel like over the past 10 hours, I've started to actually get good at the game. Most like new enemies now, when I see them, it's the first encounter. You know, you can kind of get a feeling for their patterns a lot easier and sense when attacks are going to come a lot easier. But with that being said, like, you know, run into anything big and the game is going to fucking tear you apart. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how good you think you are. Yeah, I've been humbled dozens of times, and I'm sure I will continue to be so.
I'll tell you what enemy I have the utmost respect for still, like 30 hours in, is the fucking bears.
Oh. And what kills me about the bears is for how difficult they are, they give you no runes. The reward is not worth the risk.
They're just huge, horrible assholes with like no upside.
Man, they're so fast. They hit so hard. They're fucking jumping around like Donkey Kong. Back to Donkey Kong. The bears jump around like fucking Donkey Kong. They're jumping from tree to tree and fucking coming down, swatting you. You feel like you're fucking Leo in not the Departed, in the fucking Revenant.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a bad time. I don't like them. I don't recommend them. I can't fuck with them.
Yeah.
Bears don't fuck around. That's
But
just
on the flip side, killing the cubs is very easy. So make sure you do that.
Cool and gross. All right.
Oh.
Yeah. They're yeah. Yeah. You can kill basically anybody. Although some of them don't do that.
I feel bad every time I kill the turtles. Those fucking they're so big and they're so harmless. They're just chilling, but then like their turtleneck meat is actually really useful.
Yeah. There's even a turtle pope that you can find. And I found a post online that was like, here's what happens when you kill the turtle pope. And the end of it was basically, don't do this. You'll never get this part of your back that you lose when you kill the turtle pope. It's not worth it.
Shit. That's dark.
He's just a kindly, old, enormous turtle literally wearing a pope hat. Like, it's not, I'm not being facetious when I call him the turtle pope.
probably going to call this episode Turtle Pope.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, you going to say more Elden Ring or?
I was going to say, I did actually play other games over the last couple of weeks.
That's where I was going to go. Like, I know you guys have been very busy with Elden Ring, but there are probably other games, and maybe we can talk about them.
Yep.
Hit me up. What do you got?
I played. Well, I can talk more about Kirby now, because it's out. It's out in the world, and it's interesting how the difficulty sort of like bounces back and forth, because on the one hand, you need, because like the whole premise of the game is that you're rescuing these Waddle Dee dudes, because you and everybody else has been sucked into this horrible world that I think is like Earth, basically. They never make that explicitly clear, but
that is truly a horrible world.
It's like, it's kind of like Super Mario 3D World, where like you need a certain amount of stars to get past certain thresholds. Okay. Except that the amount of Waddle Dees is super duper low, and it never really gets higher throughout any of the main story. Like, I had enough to unlock the final stage, like before you hit the credits on the main story. I had enough by the time I finished the first world, and there's 6 of them.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because like you can earn 10 or 11 or 12 in every stage if you're thorough. And like, I think you needed like 35 or 40 to unlock the final boss. Mm-hmm. It was very weird. But then on the other hand, you have like these little bonus stages peppered all over the place, and you can finish them without too much trouble. But if you want to hit the recommended time and get the bonus, fuck you. Good luck. You will need it. It's like you have to basically know the stage inside and out and have it perfect. And then there's like post-game shit that you can do that like really ramps it up. And also there's a few bosses that are shockingly difficult, given that the rest of it is in fact a Kirby game, which I found really interesting. But you can upgrade certain copy abilities to make things a little easier with certain bosses. Like you can turn the fire into Dragon's Fire, and then you can just sort of like hold the button down and then watch the person's health bar sort of shrink into nothing, which is cool.
Nice. Gotta love melting fools.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Mario Odyssey did that same thing where it was, relatively easy, approachable for just about anybody. But if you got the recommended or the number of shines you needed to open up the challenge mode, like the Bowser's Dark World or whatever, can't remember what it's called. That shit was some of the hardest Mario probably ever.
Hey, you know what else did something like this was Elden Ring. They have this weapon.
I knew you were going to say
that. Sorry, James. Elaborate on the bosses a bit more. The ones that are tough. What makes them tough?
Well, the last boss, for example, does these like crazy attacks where they'll like swoop and like cross the map quickly, or they'll like sort of hover at a distance where you can't easily reach them and just start like laying a distance fire, like big heavy range attacks all over the map, and you have to like watch and dodge and time your moves perfectly. And Kirby's not super fast on his feet,
right?
Doesn't really have legs, and so you have to like time your dodges really well, because it takes a while to get on the other side of certain strikes. And so like if you don't do that correctly, the dude will just do like a series of these nasty fucking ground shattering strikes that take your health down to like nothing. And there's not really healing in the middle of a fight. You just kind of have what you have, and then if you fuck it up, you're dead. So
okay.
Yeah. So like some bosses definitely can catch you flat-footed if you're like not prepared. But you can learn the patterns without too much trouble, and then it's just a matter of being patient, striking when the opportunity presents itself. But yeah, like the regular gameplay is cake, and then like it's a little harder to wrap up all the like hidden goals to like get every single one of the Waddle Dees, and then other challenges get gradually harder from there. And there's like a Coliseum I didn't mess about with too much, where you can just do like a boss rush thing and then fight crazy tough fights at the end. Although Meta Knight was not super difficult.
He was a bitch. Meta bitch.
Yeah, he spends too much time sort of like rotating his body and getting ready for another crazy strike, but they're also telegraphed. You can just sort of like step slightly out of the way, and then while he's preparing, you just lay all the fire or whatever atop him and ruin his life.
There is a giant like Donkey Kong-esque boss in Kirby as well. I'm just watching the trailer here.
Oh yeah, the huge gorilla.
Yeah, he's got a sick mohawk.
And he does this swipe move, so he will sort of grab you and then squeeze the shit out of you, and you have to get your way out. And so you have to concentrate on dodging and moving out of the way as much as possible during that phase of the attack, or else you're gonna have a real bad time.
I will say as well, Nintendo continues to pull a shiny fucking rabbit out of their hat, because this game looks awesome.
And
it looks super nice.
I played the demo, and it runs really well too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a Nintendo exclusive. So they generally have a good idea of how to make sure their shit runs properly in their own systems. I haven't really messed with the co-op because the wife she doesn't like playing games where the camera moves much at all, because it will make her sick. So
yeah,
I haven't really experimented with that, but it's there. And generally, co-op generally makes those games quite a bit simpler.
Is there online co-op, or is it just couch?
I feel like it's couch, but I can't confirm that. I can't say confirm or deny for certain. I'd be wary of that, because Nintendo's netcode is well, I mean, it's gotten better,
but it's from 2002. Let's be honest.
I mean, like, I've been playing games online on the Switch specifically with a friend of mine, and it's not so bad.
Is that a Contra flask?
Yes, Contra Real Corpse.
Okay, good.
That's fucking.
It's what I got for playing the demo they built into an arcade machine, which is apt because the game very much felt like it was from 1999 or like 2001.
That's sick. And they sent you that.
Well, I just grabbed one when I was there.
Oh, fair enough.
This was back in the day when you could go places.
It's true.
I'm still waiting to go to Poland. I've been sitting on that ticket for 3 years now.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot about that. Damn.
Yeah.
It's a long wait.
Telling me.
James, did you see that there were some leaked Switch Pro specs? I saw Digital Foundry talking about this.
I didn't actually see that. Since I stopped writing news for the site, I've been kind of out of the hard loop.
Well, I figured
so
you'd
all
know
I catch
as
is
the world's biggest Switch Pro proponent.
Listen, if it ever happens to exist, I'll ring the bell for it all the live long fucking day. But like, first it has to be a thing, and not just, for example, specs for a new NVIDIA Shield, which is almost certainly what those dumb motherfuckers got their hands on, regardless of how they titled the video.
Here's the interesting thing. It is an NVIDIA thing, but it's a product that was designed for automotive applications. Like it's a chip that goes in cars, and Nintendo was like, cool, let's make a Switch, I guess.
Interesting. Maybe Mario Kart 10 will be real cars. You're driving.
Oh, man. They've gone halfway with that, like,
You know, that's that exactly. Home circuit was the test. Yeah.
home circuit, man.
So
Anyway.
they decide to make something with cars, and people are like, well, obviously that's the Switch Pro, in spite of the sentence I just said before that one. Yeah, that's not.
They had some reasoning. I don't know. They're
Yeah, no,
those
it's
guys are
horseshit.
usually like more or less on point with their sources.
Sure, but like something about the Switch Pro rumors turns people's brains to oatmeal. I don't know what it is, but everybody loses the ability to like check their sources when it comes to the Pro. Because like I remember the last time we had these rumors, it was like 30 different major news outlets, and all of their shit was traced back to some like Taiwanese industry paper, which itself was talking about something really flimsy in terms of like its evidence. And then la-di-da, turns out no Switch Pro, you doofy fucks. So
One of the things I think that led a little bit of credence to this rumor was that this particular chip has some version of the NVIDIA DLSS upscaling software. So
sure,
a low power chip that could potentially output at 4K, something like that.
yeah, but that's like the thing that NVIDIA puts in their shit almost standard. Like it's just like, oh, DLSS, we want that in like
their,
as much of
in
our
their
hardware as we can.
Desktop hardware
Yeah.
for sure, but not something that you're going to expect to play unplugged for hours on end.
Like,
We'll see.
listen,
We'll see.
There's no telling when we'll find out, because it sort of seems like we're not getting any kind of June press blitz, because E3 people were like, no, we're not doing fucking anything. Like, it's like, we're not doing a physical event. And my understanding is they're just not doing an event this year. And like, if we just saw an article about EA Play Live. That's not happening.
Good.
Yeah, that was a waste of time. The best of times.
Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, sure, that one is dog shit and everybody who goes to it knows it, but like,
Yeah.
Yep.
so yeah, it's hard to say when we'll find out. Probably Nintendo will just drop a direct at some point and be like, yeah, we're making a better one. I don't know, man.
New Nintendo Switch.
Oh, it probably will be too. It's like the N3DS. It's 6% more powerful. $400, please.
Yep. Swipe.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's the one I didn't get. It's like, no.
Yeah, I don't
Way
care.
too late in the life cycle.
Yeah, just make a new console. Don't do this weak shit.
I mean, they did shortly thereafter with the Switch. They just wanted to squeeze every last drop of blood out of that stone that is parents that bought children 3DSs.
Yeah. I understand the impulse. Chase that paper and so on and so forth, but
Yeah.
maybe now that we're 5 years into the Switch's life cycle, could be just about time to at least start talking about a successor.
I think so.
Somebody, one of the big higher ups in Japan, said that they were halfway through the Switch's life cycle. What that means to me is that in 1 or 2 years, they'll have a successor, because it's just like with 3DS. Officially, the life cycle of the 3DS was crazy long. Truthfully, it died when the Switch came out. Like, they kept making games for it, and they kept supporting it in one way or another, but no, dude, it was done. You created the ultimate Nintendo system, and it was just like, well, no, we don't need any of that other shit ever again. So if they actually do create a successor to this thing, that will mark the practical end of the life cycle of the Switch.
Dig this. It's exactly the same as the Switch, except it's now a clamshell and there's 2 screens. A dual screen Switch.
That's pretty innovative.
I would maybe buy that. I don't know why. Nothing about the development of their games feels like it's moving in that direction. Nothing about the games feels like it works with that premise anymore.
What if they put some controls on that second screen, the touch screen, the lower screen, that are better served being buttons on the controller that already exists? What if they did that?
Cool. So like worse than what they have now. That's
okay. It's an innovation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't get that twisted.
How about this? The next system after the Switch will be a 4K tablet that doesn't require a dock to connect to the TV. You'll just plug in like a dingle, a dingle dongle.
Why?
And then
Do you want
just
better?
connect to it. Yeah.
What if it's completely fucking wireless?
Yeah.
It does like a Chromecast AirPlay thing to your TV.
Yeah. Well,
With zero
like,
lag.
No
yeah,
dangle,
like what we've been
dangle
doing
required.
with phones for fucking ages. I can just send YouTube videos to my TV.
Yeah.
It takes no effort. It's incredibly easy. You could just do that. You could do that without lag. First of all of the tech industry would like a word with you. Second of all, you will make another console king,
Well, let me tell you one thing. Nintendo's netcode is certainly up to the task.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, they just released an update for the Switch that allowed you to put your games into folders. So stop laughing. And
I know.
pay-
They're
pay
innovators
them
now.
the respect they fucking
They're cutting all the
deserve.
edges. They're
Yeah.
cutting the edges, man. They're so good.
Oh yeah.
I thought for sure you were going to say, hey, did you know there's an update to Elden Ring?
Well, there is an update to Elden Ring. It just dropped. It was a big update. Nevertheless,
Does it fix the performance?
it does. Yeah, it actually does.
Really?
Yes, they
Oh, all right.
Well, I mean, I haven't played it since this update, but they did say that they've addressed stability issues, frame rate issues, etc., etc.
Okay, so they finished the game.
You sound bitter about this one, Paul. You sound real bitter about this one. Something's sticking in that craw of yours, isn't it?
It is.
What is it? What is it?
real sticky.
Did it get rated too high? Was there too many good reviews out there? What is it?
Listen, I believe that the people who like this game really like this game. They think it's a great game, and it's one of the better games this year. But best game ever? Get the fuck out of here.
No,
absolutely not.
It's no.
It's not the best game ever. It's just a very good game.
Yeah, like
There you go. I'm quite happy with that.
right? The best game I've played in a while. The best game I've played in a while,
Okay.
But best ever, come on.
It's in the gaudy discussion for 2022
easily,
for sure.
Easily.
I don't know where on the list it's going to be, but it's going to be on the list.
I mean, goddamn. God damn.
Yeah, it's just
gonna be an
a little
interesting list this year.
hyperbolic.
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
it
that's
will.
fair. Has anybody else played shit or? Because I got one more.
Well, I played some more GT7 and they keep fucking this game up.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean-
they keep making updates and it keeps getting worse. It keeps getting worse.
Okay.
They are actively decreasing the number of credits you get from things and actively making it more difficult to progress in the game without buying currency. And this game is getting absolutely shredded on user scores.
Man, it's bad.
It deserves it. It's pretty greasy. Pretty greasy.
Yeah, I mean,
Racing's still good.
that's the thing.
man,
Like,
they're
the
really
gameplay,
fucking
like
dog.
everything aside from these greasy microtransactions, is fantastic. It's still the best driving game I've ever played. But yeah, just like what Paul said, they're clearly skewing the player base down one laneway. There's if you want to like partake in these legendary cars that we're offering for $18 million for this week only, well, you better fucking spend however much it is, $120 to get the necessary credits. What's also really greasy is that they're
You all right?
where am I going with this? I lost my train of thought.
Oh my God. Can you find it again?
Come back to me.
I got a greasy bit. And that is that they only enabled this shit once the game came out.
Greasy.
Once the reviews were locked in as this is super highly rated because the racing is excellent and everything they've put in around it is better than any GT before it. But now that it's out, fuck, there's micros and they're getting greasier over time. And there's nothing we can do about the review score that's on Metacritic. Can't update it.
No.
That's just not a thing that you can do.
No. I've got it. What's really greasy is that they set a cap on the number of credits that you can have in your purse. So you can have 20 million. Now,
What?
if they release a time limited vehicle, or if they release, because they drop like 4 or 5 of them at a time. So if they release 5 vehicles that you want and you have 20 million credits, you'll be able to get one of them. But then you were not able to save up for those other 4 that you could have potentially wanted. You just have to fucking buy the fucking credits to like it's fucked.
Like let's
It's
talk
fucked.
let's talk real world. If you've got so many fat stacks that you can't fit it into a single purse, you buy a bigger purse.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
You know,
You rock 2 purses.
straight up.
Yeah. They it's just like the Legend of Zelda games. Get a bigger wallet.
Straight up. It's time to upgrade. No more of that nutsack size change purse. It's time to get something that fucking holds some real coin. And
And even when you upgrade all the way to the top in Zelda, you still can't hold enough rupees.
right. So
Man.
So
Pretty greasy,
So
man.
with the cap, like, have you actually seen specialty cars costing as
18
much as the
million.
wallet limit?
18
Jesus
million.
Christ.
Yeah, that's the highest I've seen, and they're like, it's like with these limited release cars, they'll do an 18 million or maybe even 2 $18 million cars every time. So it's
So
now,
basically, you buy one and then you have to grind your little ass off to get the other one.
yeah, exactly.
And that's
Or
the thing. They've
spend
been
the money.
nerfing the races that are easier to grind to get your currency back.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
Now, with all that being said, and I'm not defending it by any means, but I'm just, on the flip side, the director of the game, he did release a statement and he was like, kills me. He said that it literally kills me that I can't share information on where the game is going. There's a reason as to why we're doing all of this, and I know exactly, Paul. Exactly. That's it, man. But I'm just, I'm just saying what's out there. That's what the director of the game has said, is that there's going to be a rhyme and a reason for all of this, and just trust us, and we're gonna get the game to where you want it to be. But I'm also like, I'm with you, Paul. I'm like, that seems like a fucking message that was written to appease fans, and now they probably will pivot on their original plans because it's the lowest rated user score. It's got the lowest user score of any PlayStation game ever. Any exclusive. Yeah. And it's man, like I there's no way that they were expecting this sort of response. There's just no way. They dropped that press note, and they're going to pivot, and they're going to fix things, I think. But for right now, it's like they've been exposed. This polyphony they've been exposed.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts more because playing that game in the first couple of days after it came out, I was actually really happy with the amount of credits that you pulled in over the course of doing the main campaign stuff. I was like, this is really well balanced. I can buy a car too, and I've got to work if I want to get a big library. That
is literally the first point, like of the first point that I gave to the game was for how well they did the progression. It felt like a classic GT in that, you worked your way through the slower cars, and you would upgrade them, and then you'd eventually you would sell them, or in this case you would just earn enough credits to get like the next class of car. With the cafes, they actually do a really good job of sort of streamlining the experience. But man, it's like once these menu books dry up, that's it. You're just stuck doing the same fucking race over and over again. And even that now, like that's not really a viable. It's not really a viable option now that they've nerfed the best payouts on the shortest races.
That statement just stinks of, we want this to be free to play. Eventually, everybody will be able to race. And if you want to race at all, it's going to cost you an arm and a fucking leg.
Yeah.
Rough stuff.
Yeah.
But hopefully they get it right. I mean, they can't sit on their laurels for too long. We know that Forza 7 is in development, probably on the horizon.
Yeah, but honestly,
maybe for this year.
After playing Horizon 5, and I really, really loved Horizon 5, but after playing Horizon 5 and then playing GT7...
Yeah, those two are not the same, for sure.
No, now, and don't get me wrong, I know that Motorsport is obviously very different from Horizon, but it's closer to Horizon than it is GT. And I think GT7, like, it drives better than any racing game I've played. So they have really got their work cut out for them as far as on the track, figuring that out. If it feels at all like Horizon, I don't know,
We'll see. James, you had another game to talk about. What is it?
Well, I've been playing Weird West.
Ooh.
Which is by Wolf Eye Studios, published by Devolver Digital. It's a kind of a fantasy sci-fi, like a grim fantasy sort of cowboy RPG.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. It's got the sort of like isometric CRPG perspective on things, and you control your little character running around this map, and you use like the sticks and L and R to like manually aim and shoot. So it's not like turn-based or anything. You're actually like lining up shots and like popping them off and getting into these crazy battles with like outlaws and shit like that. And there's upgrades and stuff like that you can do to give little perks to your character, and like you can get better guns, but like so far it's kind of like how quick on the draw are you, how good are you at using the environment. That's the other thing that's cool, is that you can do stuff like get an opponent wet and hit them with a lightning attack, or you can like blow up explosive barrels, or you can lob dynamite and like ruin people's day that way, or like you can do like stealth to a certain extent, although I'm even worse at that in this game than in any other. You can like, if you don't want a body to be discovered, you can bring a shovel with you and bury them in the middle of a mission. You can just make a shallow grave for this person so they're not found, because if they're found, then everybody's alerted and it's a whole thing. You can like recruit deputies and buddies to like come in on jobs with you. If your reputation is high enough and people like you enough, they will just sort of like intervene on your behalf randomly during missions. It's interesting. The story I'm not finding super strong, partially because I keep getting sucked up into side missions. Like every time I go back to town, it's like, here's a bunch of bounties you can do for a bunch of cash. And I'm just like, sick. I love those. And like, they're really nice with the quick save function, so that like you can, as soon as you're doing like halfway decent 2/3 of the way through a stage or a battle, you can just like, oh no, I'm going to pause for a second in between waves and then save and then go back and then keep trying things over and over again. Different strategies and techniques. It's interesting. It's really interesting. I like the setting so far, and the action is cool. It's aiming manually is a little bit like clumsy, but also you can just sort of like quickly whip off shots like 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever in a row, and like take people down. It's not that hard, and like every character basically so far has a pretty similar power level. So like henchmen and like the person you're after, the bounty or the boss or whatever, they're on about the same strength level. It's just the boss might be clever or like work to escape your grasp, but like send people after you. But like you can catch them flat-footed around a corner. You can absolutely put 2 or 3 bullets into their chest and be done with it. Yeah, it's cool. I'm
also noticing some sick ass My Friend Pedro slow-mo.
Oh yeah. If you do like the last shot of a battle or whatever, you'll like get a really good one off, and it just like zooms in and like watches them like ragdoll like crazy. So amazing. That's cool. Appreciate that shit. There's a few different kinds of weapons you can mess with. So far I've just found like rifles, shotguns, and pistols. Pistols I prefer the most because the reload is way faster. Shotguns have a terrible range, but they're super beefy. Rifles are kind of like the worst of both worlds. I'm not super sure what the point of them is. But fair. Maybe if you find a good one, they're good. Like I got a blue grade one that was like, oh, this is decent. Yeah, it's just a good, cool cowboy RPG where you can like do cool shit with the environment and like sneak up under roofs and like coming through windows and stuff like that to like approach battles the way you want, but like fights also happen crazy fast. So there's like a certain amount of planning you can do, but then also things can go completely sideways in like 7 seconds.
Nice.
It's interesting. I like it.
Reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, nice.
My favorite thing about that game was you could plan and come with the perfect approach, and then somebody sees you that you didn't expect.
Straight
it
up,
goes
man,
to shit, and now you're scrambling.
This person arrived for work at the time at 7:15. You decided to approach the base, and oh, here comes this person who's just getting on their shift, and they spot you, and you didn't plan for that, and that's why that game is brilliant.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you can like sneak up on people and knock them out, and then just drag their bodies somewhere where they won't be seen. Oh. That's cool. Or bury them when you kill them. And nice. You can do that too.
That's good too.
Can you throw them off cliffs?
So far, no, because the way the stages are set, it's kind of like you're zoomed into the map, because like the way you leave an area is you get to the sort of like dotted borderline and you go outside of that and you're like, are you going to go? You're like, all right, great, you're gone. So there's not really cliffs to throw people off of, but you can make a body pile pretty easily in one room.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
If you want to keep the stealth going.
What about rivers? Throw bodies into rivers?
I haven't tried yet. It's a desert environment so far, so there's not a lot of water. Okay. But there's going to be some poison swamps that I'm traveling to next. Yeah. And that's going to be cool. Although they have these like pig people in the swamps, which are a really bad time. I ran into them once and like my pistol did, boy, just nothing. Just like little flicks to the side, and they just came up upon me and just laid me out in mere moments. Also, you can steal horses and like steal horses, and you can, if you want, kill just everybody. Anybody you feel like killing, you can do that too. It's just your reputation will suffer, and then maybe some shops don't exist anymore. It happens.
It's like Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. Hey, this sounds pretty cool.
It does. It does sound.
I do really like the art as well.
Yeah.
Some really sick cowboy portraits.
Yeah, just some cool hard dudes just like out there breaking the law. There's a lot of stuff in the setting that's like outside of the usual cowboy business, like mutants and cannibalism and like things that might be aliens or might just be horrifying monsters. I don't know all the lore yet.
Just found an image of the pig people. That's
not cool.
That's messed up.
Not cool. Yeah, the first story has like the character you're playing, your kids are dead and your husband's been kidnapped by people who round people up like cattle and deliver them to these creatures. They're like 7 foot tall lizards or something.
I like that.
They really get down on human flesh.
Excellent.
So you got to find your man before they, eat him.
Eat him. Yeah. Excellent.
Like any good lizard would.
Yeah,
that tracks. Sweet. That sounds pretty cool. Devolver, you said. These guys can't put a foot wrong, I swear.
Not particularly.
Maybe a slight misstep here and there, but
that Yomi one, the like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Well, the I don't know, is that one's coming out soon or like whatever? It looks cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
No.
We'll see. I'll put it on the same list as Elden Ring, where I'll pass judgment and then maybe play it someday and have to backtrack. Reverse course.
Fair enough.
What I don't have to reverse course on is Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster.
Oh, right.
Which I picked up, and it is mostly awesome. Game itself.
What do you? Yeah.
Game itself is amazing.
Yeah.
Plays just as well as ever. Love the remastered music. A lot of the updated sequences and updated dialogue, especially. Pretty damn good.
Okay.
Don't love some of the art choices. Like the overworld, for example. God, it's bright. It is so bright and oversaturated. Like painfully green grass. And I immediately found a mod that was like, this tones down the brightness of the overworld. It's like, perfect.
Man, I did not even fucking notice that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's so bright. Yeah, I don't know why that bothered me, but it did.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, like the effects and stuff that they've put towards spells and stuff, awesome. So good. Well worth a playthrough even if you played this game before.
Yeah, no, I love Final Fantasy VI. It was so easy to get sucked right back into it, you know, for that review, and like the opera house sequence just ruined me inside, and like running around like doing all the crazy little battles and whatnot. I loved it. I love it.
Yeah, I've been making a beeline towards the opera house sequence. You know, the only thing that's slowing me down, one, age, and two, trying to identify what items are what, given that the names are all different. I'd be like, what is this? Is this that dagger that's really awesome, or is it not?
I really appreciate how Sabin's Blitz stuff.
Yes.
The inputs are just sort of listed at the top of the screen, which is super useful, so you know what you're doing wrong right before you so you don't just like accidentally blow it and not realize what you've done, and then you just lose a battle.
Yeah, and it gives you the opportunity to redo. If it detects that you've done it wrong, it just resets the set of commands at the top, and you can, as long as you don't push A, you're good.
And the auto battle where you just like you pick your crazy specials you want everybody to do, pick the blitz input you like, and you just like set it and forget it, and then they're just like laying that shit out heavy, like automatically slightly faster than they would have ordinarily. It rules. It's so good for like peeling through dungeons when you know what you need to do to survive. It's just like, oh fuck yes.
Yeah, really good. Makes me want to play the other Pixel remasters. If they're all of this quality with, you know, the new effects and the new soundtracks and stuff, I think I would really be interested in playing some of the ones that I don't have a ton of experience with, like 2, 3, and 5.
2 is bad.
Okay.
I don't mean the Pixel remaster. I mean the game. Because like they did this thing where they wanted to do something really different from 1. So they made it so all of your stats were tied to certain actions. And so like your stats would level up depending on things you did. So you attack, your strength goes up, you defend, your defense goes up, you do magic, your magic goes up. You take hits, that goes up, and all this other bullshit. But it's like kind of weirdly uneven and like kind of clunky, and the game itself is just like very unapproachable. It's one of those systems that like seems cool at first, but I feel like it can spiral out of control pretty badly. I don't know. I bounced off it like 4 times. I've never managed to get through it.
Yeah, fair. Another game that does that is the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, where every playthrough I've ever done of that game, I end up with an acrobatics skill of 100 because I just jump off of shit and jump all the time. It's like you are a court jester right now. It's the only thing you're good at is jumping and falling off of things.
Yeah, but like at least with Oblivion, you could sort of cheese it where you're like, no, I'll just do this thing 100 times and then I'm like better at it. With like Final Fantasy 2, it felt very like obtuse. Like you were never totally sure whether what you were doing was gonna help or whether it was like a good useful time. It's one of the few Final Fantasy games I've never really managed to give the honest try to, so I do want it. Like 4 and 5 I put a lot of time into before I was like, no, fuck this and fuck you, I refuse. 4 I loathe because
really?
they do level scaling. I'm a grinder. Do you know what that means for me? This means that if
you're
I
talking
get
about
to
the DS version, right?
Every version does this.
Really?
This is a thing that's inherent to Final Fantasy IV, where like if you get distracted or lost, or you wander around for a while, you end up so powerful that by the time you get to the moon, everybody you fight is using level 3 spells all the fucking time, and every battle is like a secret boss battle, and you simply cannot succeed. And it's just like, cool, thanks. Also, fuck you. I'm out. Like that. But I've tried a lot. I put a lot of hours into it. I just can't do it. 5 is just crazy hard. Like that's just how it is. 5 is just really hard. It's not like mechanically bent in such a way where like you can't, it feels cheap or awful. It's just a tough ass fucking game.
Interesting. I've never had that experience with 4, but also grew up playing that game quite a bit.
Yeah.
I definitely remember that from the DS version, that game was fucking difficult. And it could really ruin your day if you ground a little too much and then you went to whatever dungeon.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't got time for that shit. But you know, I'm a smarter, wiser, older man. Maybe the games that once gave me all the grief, I can come back to with my big adult brain, and I can just kick the shit out of them. I don't know. Maybe. Stranger things have happened.
Well, if I pick up any of those other Pixel games, I will definitely be back with more information, more thoughts,
Awesome.
more ideas. Rhett, I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas about WWE 2K22.
Yeah. Come on, man. Hook us up. What do you got?
Can't hear you if you're talking.
Okay.
It's fucking great. It's absolutely great. Not that you really have anything to compare it to, given their last game. Given the last 10 games from this, it's not exactly difficult to make a great game compared to those. But yeah, it's the best wrestling game I've played in 10 years, easily. It's animated.
Compare it to WCW versus NWO World Tour for the N64.
Yeah. I don't know. World Tour's probably got it beat, but you know.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, 2K22, the biggest thing about the game is that it is very, very well animated.
Oh, nice.
Matches will actually feel like they have a bit of flow to them, you know? It doesn't always just feel like a spastic contest between two fake characters that are punching and striking and grappling, and it's all just like chaos. It actually like looks and feels a lot of the time like a real match. It's interesting in that sense what they've accomplished. There are still a lot of problems with the game, like I don't know, just there's all kinds of shit, like title belts still like clipping, a lot of clipping issues, and like title belts, they float on characters as they walk down to the ring, or as if they carry them around or over their shoulder, they'll like float on the character. And there's stuff like if a really tall wrestler is trying to punch a really short one, you know, like the punch may still miss the character but hit them. I don't know, it's strange. All these problems that you've seen with these games over the past 10 years, they still are sort of there, but this just feels like a massive step forward. It feels like they've taken what was there, they've cleaned it up, they've refined it a lot. And yeah, I think that they're still a ways away from reaching, like, you know, to reaching the point where the game actually looks like what the product on TV looks like. But as far as, you know, being interesting and being engaging and being fun to play, yeah, it's the best one that they've released in a long time.
Definitely looks like it sucks less.
It sucks way less. It sucks way less. Like I said, it's great in the ring, but I just think about, like, You go backstage, you can have these backstage matches, and they've created this massive, beautiful backstage area, but there's like nothing to interact with. There's no like environmental finishers or moves or anything like that. It's just like you can go into this parking lot now and you can throw people into cars, but like where are all the moves on the cars? Where are the animations? Why can't I like slam a dude's head or arm or leg in the door, Or like there's just so many little things like that. It's why I gave the game a 79. Gameplay wise, animation wise, it's like incredible actually, as far as what they've accomplished. But there's just so much stuff still that you're like, why can I not do this? Why is this not working? Why is this way? They've talked a lot about the new control scheme and how they've reworked the control scheme and made it a bit more fluid and accessible, but it's not. Like they've utilized a bizarre combination of triggers and bumper buttons and face buttons, and not only is it not always intuitive, but sometimes it just doesn't work straight up. Like you'll go to pick up a weapon and the dude doesn't pick the weapon up. It's just like lots of shit like that will permeate the experience. But again, I can't stress it enough. Like as far as playing the game, as far as having a match, it really is as fun as it's been in a decade, easily. I feel like this is the best wrestling game, one of the best sports games to play with your friends in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is 2K23 will be the one that you really want.
That's what it's all about, man. 2K23, 2K24, 25, what have you. Like, I think that they've built a fantastic base that they can continue to build off of now. And in the coming years, we're going to see the series. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 or 3 years you saw the game 2K25, let's say, getting 8.5s and 9s pretty much across the board. Wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. Good news.
Mm-hmm. Very good news, because apparently EA has been in talks with the WWE, and based on the performance of 2K22, the license may go to EA. So, if you're a wrestling fan and you hate EA, get online and voice your opinion about how much you love 2K22, because the series could be in Electronic Arts' hands very soon.
Oh.
I'm trying to decide in my head how the UFC engine would do with wrestling.
Tough to say. I mean, those UFC games, they're absolutely beautiful, and they as well are animated very, very well. But like you said, I don't know how that sort of gameplay, that sort of like grappling mat-based gameplay would translate to professional wrestling. It's professional wrestling. I think it's closer to Street Fighter than it is the UFC.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
Any other games to talk about? Should we talk some news?
Yeah, let's talk about some news.
The one that I'm most interested in is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Collection. 100% will buy, no doubt. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's like a boatload of different games from like the arcade and like the Genesis and the Super NES era and like the NES and the Game Boy. I'm like way into this shit. Because I was like, because as soon as they announced Shredder's Revenge, I was like, oh, I really want to go back and play some of these cool wild games. And now they're doing this. Just feels like a slick move in the part of the people who own the Ninja Turtles games.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think it's missing some of the later stuff, like anything after Turtles in Time, which is a bit of a bummer, but I think there's more than enough content there to make this a worthy purchase.
There's like Turtles in Time. There's the TMNT arcade game. There's the Tournament Fighters one. There's like the NES and Game Boy ones, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's the NES Turtles game that has that infamous underwater defuse the bombs mission.
Listen, if they implement with this collection the sort of things that they do with these collections, like save states and shit, like give you what they give you in the Sega Genesis collection, which I love, which is the ability to fast forward and rewind with the shoulder buttons. Give me that shit. Sure, by all means, give me your hardest Ninja Turtle stage. I don't give a shit. Hook it up, man. I'll do it.
That game has a banger soundtrack. Like one of the best soundtracks on all of the NES. I tell you, the Ultra Games days, they knew how to make a soundtrack that really slaps.
Yeah. Which one was that? Turtles in Time?
The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Turtles in Time also had a great soundtrack.
It did.
It had this like great, like kind of like a rock soundtrack, but like made with like MIDI shit because it was for the Super NES, but it was still great. You know, like that sort of thing. Yeah. Excellent work, honestly.
I'm going to find this soundtrack. I'll send it to you guys.
Yes.
Yep.
It's so good. Yeah. Did they give any kind of price on that, or is...
Oh, we know almost nothing about it. Sometime in 2022 is my understanding, and then like however much this is going to cost, who knows? Probably $40 or $50 is my guess, which is fine.
I assume Shredder's Revenge is coming this year too.
I hope so. Yeah.
Love to see a package deal.
Yeah.
Cowabunga Collection plus Shredder's Revenge.
I mean, I'll probably buy them both regardless. So if it is a package deal, great. If it's not, I'm still doing it, right? Like,
but like if they throw that shit into a metal box and throw some turtle swag in there, man, I'd be buying the collector's edition. I'll tell you what,
man. This could
I think I'll definitely.
This could be one we play together. You know, this could provide some content for the YouTube channel.
Yeah. We will need to align on who owns what turtles.
I'm not the purple one. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Okay, I was gonna say Donatello's my man.
Oh, laughing. I'll take Raph. You know,
James, you look like a Michelangelo kind of guy.
I was gonna say I think you look like a Leonardo kind of cat. You know.
Well, I mean, as far as personality goes, it's Michelangelo all the way. But Leo has swords. I don't understand why there's even a discussion being had.
It is.
Being a party dude, it counts for a lot when you're a turtle.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Mike rules in the movies and the show. He's awesome. In the games, he is there. He's very present and accounted for. Yeah. Ready for action.
Yeah. The nunchucks are literally the worst weapon you could possibly have. Talk about completely useless.
The size were a close second. I don't know, man.
Yeah, they got to be pretty close to get a poke.
Yeah.
It's fair. A little stabby.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Minorly stabby.
Okay, well, whatever, man. You can take your fucking Donatello broomstick and you can stick it up your ass.
Listen, the quarterstaff is a deadly weapon, dude. I know.
Yeah, it's deadly when you need to sweep the fucking floor. Yeah, it fucking does a great job of cleaning up.
It does. If you attach a mop handle to that thing, you get some work done.
It's the best.
And otherwise, just try to get near. Just try to get close.
Because like
winging this 6 foot long stick around.
That's fair.
Here's the deal,
fair.
right? because both ends are equally viable as far as dealing damage goes, what you do is you knock the weapon out of their hands with the one end, while at the same breath, like half a second later, you trip them up by the ankles, and then you spin it around, and you just knock them right in the head. Takes like no time at all, and then they're disarmed and disabled, and then you jam it right into one of their holes, and you do a stripper pole dance just to really humiliate them and demoralize them.
I feel you,
know?
dog. Speaking of that, is April O'Neil going to be playable in any of these games?
She will be in Shredder's Revenge.
Yes.
Oh, sick.
There you go. Okay, so
Yeah.
I call April. I'll call you.
Yeah,
I
that's
want to
fair.
see April O'Neil dragon punch the Foot Clan like across the screen.
Nice.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
That'd be so
into
good.
that. Yeah, I'm into that.
Sweet.
Okay. So this just popped up on my feed like a day or so ago. Apparently for the second Sonic movie, Microsoft is dropping, there's a contest where you can win this limited edition Xbox with like these hairy
Oh.
controllers.
Oh.
One's red, one's blue, and they're furry. They're furry. And I just want to get your thoughts on that. That's all. I just want to know gut level reactions. How do you feel when you see these controllers?
The first thing that comes to mind, we were talking about dusty fingers earlier in the cast. Like, imagine some. I won't say it, but imagine a pair of sweaty, disgusting mitts gripping these over the course of 6 to 12 months. They're gonna look like a fucking matted, caked piece of dog fur.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
You're going to have
God,
to give your
these-
controller a good brush and a bath.
Oh, these are horrible
yeah.
in the best possible way. Like as far as swag goes, I absolutely want them.
Never use
But
them.
never use them, exactly. Display
Yeah.
them, enjoy them, never use them.
Cradle them when you
Yeah.
want to feel what Sonic's flowing mane might feel like.
For sure.
Yeah.
When your wife says it's either me or the furry controller, and you pick the controller, be sure to cradle it and tell it that you love it.
Just
Yeah.
don't
Don't
sign
play with
yourself up for a sweaty Elden Ring session.
Exactly. Don't eat Doritos and play with this stick.
Oh my God. There's no way Sonic eats Doritos.
No,
Maybe he does.
He's more of a Miss Vicky's kind of sea salt and vinegar kind of cat.
You think he's that cultured?
Yeah.
I think he puts those chips in his chili dog.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Want to
There
talk
you go.
about culture?
Yeah. I'm telling you, man.
But yeah,
Which Sonic character is that has the gun? Is that Dark Sonic?
Shadow.
Shadow. Yeah.
wait, what is a Sonic character that has a gun?
Yeah, there's a game, Shadow the
heat.
Hedgehog. He's got himself like a big cannon, like a Desert Eagle. It's just like a huge ass fucking handgun.
It's a fucking cannon too. Eh?
Yeah.
That's good.
Like Sonic's got the spin jump. Shadow literally packing heat.
Shadow's got the
blowing
Suge
fools away.
Knight 50 cal.
Yeah, he's doing covert missions for the president while Sonic's off collecting rings. It's a whole thing.
Nice.
I want to play that game.
Yeah.
You don't, but I appreciate your enthusiasm for it. I've seen the game in action. It's listen, it was a Sonic game that came out between 2006 and 2010, which is, as far as Sonic games goes, completely fucking cursed.
Oh, I think that all Sonic games are basically cursed. I mean, if there was a new Shadow the Hedgehog covert ops game, I would want to play the fuck out of that.
Oh my god, yes. Just like trying to sneak around like a fucking military base with those huge cartoon spines
Yeah.
sticking out behind you. It's like, What's that? Oh, it's obviously a giant hedgehog. I'll kill it immediately.
Now, would this be, though, a first-person experience or more of a Hitman-esque third-person experience? Because I'm leaning towards third-person.
Exactly, Hitman, where you're trying to
Right?
do the disguises, but
Yes.
you're still a giant hedgehog.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like Hitman, where there are numerous disguises where if anybody
None of them work.
Anybody that looks at that guy in that chicken suit, come on, that's not an employee of this
Yeah,
racetrack.
that's obviously a hedgehog, yes.
Or equally hilariously, all of them work.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Nobody, just huge blind spot. Nobody sees anything weird about it.
just like Hitman.
Yeah.
It is real convenient that everyone Hitman decides to impersonate is in fact a bald dude.
Yeah, very much so. A good-looking, chiseled, nice cheekbones, bald dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still looking forward to that James Bond game, by the way. That's
2025.
for real? Please no.
You know,
Maybe.
it's IO. IO likes to take their sweet time.
Yeah. Next year at the earliest.
Yeah.
What else we got here? See that the next Witcher game is not using the Red engine. CD Projekt has decided that thing kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's slightly cursed.
Yeah, they're on Unreal 5 for this.
Yeah, seems like a solid choice.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait. I bet the environments are going to look stupidly gorgeous.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll see how they handle that, how they recover from the Cyberpunk debacle.
Jesus.
Because, even if the game is good now,
They'll never recover.
the gaming public has not played the game now.
Oh,
they
yeah.
played the game when they wanted to play the game, and
Yep.
it was not good.
Nope. That ship sailed a long, long time ago, and they have a monumental task ahead of them to release something that will fix the damage to their reputation that they did. But honestly, it's The Witcher, and they know exactly what they need to do. They released one of the greatest games of all time in The Witcher 3, and I think they know exactly what they need to do. If they just make another Witcher 3, but it's just better looking, people will be happy.
With Geralt voiced by Henry Cavill.
Ooh, nice. Superman himself.
I feel like he'd do it.
Yeah, he would.
Dude. What I love about that dude is that he actually is invested in the lore. He knows the series. He's a fan of the old games and the novels, and if there's anybody that you want to voice, that you would want to voice Geralt, if it's not going to be the same guy from 3, it's got to be Cavill, right?
And when they say, so for Geralt, we're going to need a body scan, and we're going to need a body scan.
Yeah.
Henry's going to be like, I'll do it.
Oh, I have a body. Let me show
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
Still never forget that scene in Mission Impossible Fallout where he literally reloads his arms.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
What a fucking legend.
Just like, come on, man. You do
yeah.
that for every fight.
While rocking the baller stash.
Oh, so good.
Oh.
So good, so thick, so
Epic.
dark. Now, one interesting piece of news, though, about this game is that there's a lot of speculation that Geralt will not be the main character. There's a lot of people that think that Ciri is going to be the main character.
Well, I I feel like I'd be willing to accept. I feel like if it takes place in the Witcher universe, that's kind of all I really need. And if I'm playing as a Witcher, that's great.
Yeah.
But like beyond that, I'm like, whatever, man. You know, Geralt's had his time in the sun. So we can do a different thing. His story wrapped up in a pretty neat little package at the end of 3.
Well,
so right, like
I feel you, but this series is The Witcher. And Geralt has been established as The Witcher.
do we even know what it's actually going to be called? Is it just going to be like Witcher?
That's a good point too. Yeah, if it's just Witcher, yeah. It's a good point.
Yeah. The
I feel
Witching,
like they did
you know?
just enough with, giving you a taste of Ciri in the last game to be like, okay, her mechanics could be substantially different. It could be a completely different game experience playing as her the whole time. I'm into it.
That's probably the I mean, not that this game will be easy by any means, but that's probably the easiest path to take, in that you just create The Witcher 3, but with a refined new character to play as.
And at least on Unreal, they've got a decent shot at making a game that actually feels good for once. Because for as good as The Witcher 3 is, it does not play great.
And I had to play it on PC with mods. There were a few certain mods. The biggest one was executions on all enemies. I didn't understand why I couldn't perform like the badass animated executions on every single enemy, but that was a huge mod that fixed the game. Also, being able to fast travel from anywhere was a game changer.
Yeah. That's just convenient for, you got to understand who's playing these games.
Yeah.
I don't want to run 300 meters to the nearest signpost.
It's so dumb.
I've only got 45 minutes to play right now.
Right? And yeah, maybe those aren't games that necessarily cater well to short play sessions, but we also live in a different time where it doesn't matter what kind of game you create. Like, you need to be able to cater to short play sessions. I need to be able to pop in for 20 minutes if I want to. That's one thing with Elden Ring, all jokes aside, I don't feel like I ever have just 20 minutes to pop in and play it. I need to sit down and actually invest.
Well, what's coming up for you guys in the next couple of weeks? You got anything on the old docket that's coming up?
I'm gonna get probably the code for Chrono Cross.
Oh shit, yeah.
Nice.
And I think there's a couple other Switch games that they asked me to cover. I don't have it in front of me. I can't remember, but there was some other shit that they wanted me to do.
Yeah, I've got MLB The Show 2022 on the way, and I know you motherfuckers love hearing me talk about baseball, so look forward to that. It is on the way.
Okay, well there
Sick.
you go.
I'm willing to bet that it's basically MLB The Show 21.
I would take that bet. Yes, I think so.
I hope there are new features.
Yes.
I wouldn't put money on that.
No.
Yeah.
But I will say this, just as a real quick side note with MLB, they've announced that there's going to be an online 3-player Diamond Dynasty mode for the first time in the franchise. So at least it seems like they are moving towards wanting, or trying to build co-op and trying to build the game to skew towards playing with your friends as opposed to just grinding single player cards and trying to build your best team and not really being able to show off your accomplishments. But I'm looking forward to it.
still just waiting for a sport, any sports game, to take the risk and follow the business model of something like Destiny, where you have the game and you release shit.
Yeah.
And if people like the game, you've made a good game, like the show, people are going to buy the 2022 update because they want new rosters. They want new modes. You don't have to rebuild the game every year because people already like it. You know, give yourself the ability to ignore some of that core stuff because it's really good and work on new stuff every year. I feel like that would just be such a brilliant business model because you've got people locked in. They already bought the base product.
Yeah.
They're going to want the new shit because they like baseball.
But okay, so let's say that they do that and they release NHL 2022. And then in 2024, they release an update that is substantial. And it reworks some of the animations and whatnot and all that stuff. But it's a paid update. You know, you got to pay $29.99 or whatever. So what happens with the games where you're playing with somebody that has updated and all of the people that have not updated, that have not paid for the upgrade?
That's where the idea of seasonal content comes in. So like the people who bought it this year, yeah, they can play that content. But if you want to do the seasonal content, like say they build some kind of season pass where you unlock, I don't know, sticks over the course of time and gear and upgrades and that kind of stuff. And if you're playing through this mode, playing that online, you have access to this new stuff.
Yep. I like it.
I think the business model is there.
Absolutely. Like sports games have needed this, I've felt, since the 360, realistically, since they've started releasing patches and stuff like that. Like sports games need to be on a model that is, this is NHL. This is the PS5's version of NHL. And we're just going to update this and support it for the next 7 years or 8 years until the next console's out. Maybe a new version, one new version in between, you know, every 4 or 5 years. But yeah, I completely agree. There is no greater genre of games that would cater to this sort of style, the Destiny model, than sports games.
Yeah, or if you don't want to do the upgrade pack DLC package kind of model, do it monthly.
Yeah.
Make it cheap. Make it $4.99 a month.
Yeah.
Like there's all kinds of sports fans out there that would be way more likely to pick something up and just leave it running because they might want to play hockey once in a while. They might want to play football once in a while.
Yeah.
For sure. This is people who buy it every year. So it's just an extension of that. Just make it happen that way. It's easy.
Absolutely.
Or Microsoft, make it happen. You already have the model with Game Pass. Dedicate one of your studios to making some sports shit and add that to Game Pass.
Seriously.
Yeah.
With every sports franchise, like how many new players are they pulling in every year? You know, with NHL, like who's buying NHL 23 this year that hasn't played NHL before? A very, very, very small number of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I agree. It's all there.
Well, we agree that it's all there. I think we should also agree that it's time to get out of here, given that this is a very long podcast.
Yeah, we're coming up on
this
2
is long
hours.
even for us.
Hey, you know,
Damn.
you did,
And still going strong, I'll tell you what.
yeah.
Still got some highly opinionated opinions and some energetic energies going along here.
Hell yeah.
And we'll be back with more. We will be back with more in a couple of weeks' time, talking about some new games, talking about some new stuff. Until then, take care out there, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.